Let's now discuss the disengagement. It was announced last week, and now Indian and Chinese forces are pulling back in Pangong Tso. The standoff, though, is far from over, and New Delhi is maintaining pressure on Beijing in other ways. Here's a report.
These positions were held by the Chinese. They are now dismantling their camps, loading their trucks, and moving back. For almost a year, these areas on the border in Ladakh were witness to an eyeball-to-eyeball military standoff. But after India and China reached an agreement last week, the disengagement from Pangong Tso seems to be moving smoothly. India and China could complete the disengagement by the end of this week. The bulk of it is happening in the Fingers area, between Fingers 4 and 8. The troops are dismantling any structures built after April 2020. Once the disengagement is completed, both India and China have agreed not to conduct any patrolling in this area. While the de-escalation at the border is welcome, the standoff is not yet over. Some outstanding issues still remain. And New Delhi cannot afford to lower the guard. The Indian government intends to maintain pressure on China by working with allies as the disengagement continues along the border in Ladakh. In Rajasthan, India is hosting the American military. A 2-week-long exercise between the two militaries began last week. The drill is an annual affair, but this year it is being seen as Joe Biden's first move to exert pressure on China through one of the Quad partners.
Promises I made, and we all know
the Quad is an informal alliance between India, Australia, Japan, and the United States. It's being called the Asian NATO. The conversation around the Quad has gathered steam in recent weeks. Reports say Washington is planning the first Quad summit. The Biden administration has proposed an online meeting of the leaders of the 4 countries. Such an event would be the first interaction at the highest levels, after former U.S. President Donald Trump put his weight behind the alliance in 2017. New Delhi seems keen on participating in the proposed summit. In his first call with U.S. President Joe Biden, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi agreed to cooperate for a free and open Indo-Pacific. And the Quad. The Quad came up for discussion again last week when U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken spoke to India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. The two leaders conducted a review of the developments in the Indo-Pacific. India has reaffirmed its faith in the Quad partnership and pledged greater support for the future. The de-escalation at the border gives New Delhi an opening to reinforce its defenses against China, with some help from allies. Bureau Report, WION. World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.